I think Quinn Ewers, I have him ranked a whisker higher than Shador right now. That could change, but Quinn, slow
Eighth,
start Bryce.
eighth quarterback. You got
What'd you say?
the eighth rated.
No, a whisker higher than Shador in
Oh,
terms of my rankings.
okay.
Yeah, they're neck and neck. Obviously, Shador has balled out stats wise better than Quinn, but Quinn slow start against Rice, played better in the second half, and then Alabama. He was pretending like it was Alabama 2022 before he got hurt. Tell me what was wrong with that performance from Quinn Ewers.
Nothing. It was
Man, he popped.
Yeah.
So impressive.
The thing that popped, I mean, the accuracy, he's not as athletic, I don't think, as Sanders, but he's a good enough athlete. The accuracy at all levels of the field, and to go on national TV, to be in the spotlight that night, and to go into Alabama, which I can attest is a very, very difficult place to play in, and to perform like he performed, he really made a statement game. And now I'm just anxious to see if he can carry that through, because he made a statement game in Texas before he got hurt.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be a statement game, but when he came back after he was hurt, he wasn't the same quarterback, in my opinion. But if he can take what he did this past Saturday night and continue on the way he played, then he's going to be climbing up a lot of draft boards as well. Everybody's waiting to see what's next.
What's next? That's right. 24-38 for 349 yards, 3 touchdowns against that high-powered Alabama defense. I made some notes here. Consistently throws with anticipation, which, to your point, is what you want at the next level. And he wore out the defenses on those second-level layer throws, as I like to call them. Puts the ball in position for his wide receivers to make plays and makes it tough for the defensive backs to get a hand on it. And he lost 20 pounds, and not the athlete of Shador, as you mentioned, but he can run with some straight line getaway speed if you need to up the middle of the field on a 3rd and 8 and, whatever. But so I think the athleticism is good enough. Kirk Cousins level athleticism, but not the best arm in the country. But, man, those deep ball throws are on the money each and every time. And Xavier Worthy and Sanders, Jatavian Sanders, my guy, not your guy, they were wearing out that defense.
Yep. Touch and timing, and he showed that on full display. The only thing, the negative, was he had Worthy deep on one, and he kind of underthrew him early in the game.
Yep.
But for the most part, when he can get the ball out on time, he's a great touch and timing type thrower.
So Debo has this graphic up if you're listening on the audio version. 3 of the last 5 starting quarterbacks to win at Alabama went on to win the Heisman that season. So for me, we're talking second round or better right now for Quinn.
Yes, and if he continues, he'll be a first rounder.
All right.
Not yet, but he's moving in that direction.
The arrow is pointing up, as Mike Tomlin likes to say. Debo has a request. Let's rank the Texas prospects here. So we have Quinn Ewers. Xavier Worthy gets better in each and every time I watch him. Undersized. I think he weighed unofficially 166 before the season, but he's running past people, and he has a little – this is the first name that popped in my head, and you can laugh and correct me, but he has a little Deshaun Jackson in this game that he gets behind the defense with deep speed.
Yeah, my comp was Jordan Addison.
Oh, all right. We're not far apart.
No. The difference is that Worthy had 2 drops that bothered me. He dropped a touchdown, and I think he had another opportunity where he dropped one. But I do see the separation speed, and you've seen the separation speed. And we'll talk about Kool-Aid on that little flat route in the red zone, where it was a great throw by Ewers, but he has to make that catch. And then the other one was the underthrown deep ball. But one thing I'll say for a skinny kid, or a skinny receiver.
Yeah.
On 3rd and 4, there was a great play where they threw to him along the sideline, and he spun out of a tackle and got a first down that kept the clock moving late in the game.
Yeah, I actually wrote down plays bigger than his size. His good contact balance will bounce off tacklers if they don't wrap him up. And that goes to your point. He certainly, sort of like Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith weighs 125 pounds. He certainly plays bigger than that. Different players, but the point being that even though Xavier Worthy doesn't weigh a lot on the scale, I think he plays a little stronger than that. 5 receptions, 75 yards, and a touchdown. He, for me, is a top 50 guy. Like I thought maybe a late day 2 guy coming into the season, but you mentioned the drops, but I think those are, I don't want to say fixable, but I feel okay about those if I'm drafting him on day 2.
Yeah. Right now I see him as a Friday guy, second rounder.
All right, my guy, Jadavian Sanders, 5 receptions, 114 yards. Back-to-back weeks, he had a long reception that just outran everyone to the end zone. I give him credit for trying to block people.
Oh my God.
He's just not there yet. But he's in the way, but he's not doing the job that a tight end.
Turner did to him, and Dallas Turner was late getting across the formation to line up. It threw him out of the bar.
Oh boy! But in terms of down the field, I like him as a target. He's an athletic tight end. He's not Kyle Pitts athletic, but he's maybe a little below Evan Ingram athletic.
He's not Kincaid athletic. He's not Musgrave athletic.
I'll put him a hair below Kincaid. I don't think he's that. There's not a big difference, I don't think. Do you?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why you're down on him. All right. So if you're ranking these prospects,
he made some catches. He made big plays. I give him credit. I didn't think he was as athletic as he's showing this year. So I was a little down on him from that standpoint.
You're coming around.
His run after catch is better than I anticipated. I thought he's doing more with the ball in his hands than he did last year. But God, the blocking, that has to definitely improve.
Yeah, just put him in the slot. I think I like him, like round 2 feels about right for me. Is that too rich for you?
Yeah, I think he's a Friday guy. If he can go, I'm okay with that.
And if you're ranking these guys, you're going Ewers, Worthy, and then Sanders if we're ranking the Texas players?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Not too far apart. Pop, Debo. Got pops for our guy. I'll update our list, and maybe I'll show it on a future show because I got to keep track of our pops and drops. Next up, let's go to the other side of the ball. You want to talk about Kool-Aid now? Because I'll be honest with you, Debo gave me so much homework, I didn't go back and watch the Alabama defenders except for the broadcast, so I don't have a lot to say on them. I saw the Kool-Aid play you were talking about. It wasn't really a pass breakup. I think Worthy was the one who dropped the ball there near the sidelines, close to the end zone. But he was around the ball. While I was watching that game early on, I was like, is Dallas Turner hurt? Because I didn't see him out there a lot. He popped later. But tell me about the defensive side of the ball.
Yep. Kool-Aid to me was a drop this week.
Ooh, okay.
So got beat in a one-on-one situation by Worthy in the end zone. And then Mitchell, the young kid that I don't know why you keep bringing up, and Debo keeps bringing up these guys that are not eligible for the draft. I don't know if he's eligible.
Mitchell is, yeah. The wide receiver for Texas. He's eligible.
He made a great catch over Kool-Aid along the sideline. Kool-Aid was in perfect position, but he has to make that play. He didn't make that play. He was okay in run support, but he has to play better. And the one question on Kool-Aid, even though he's our number 1 corner coming out so far, is the speed. And if he does not have a cushion, does he have the speed to play man coverage at the next level? But still, all the instincts and everything I don't have a concern with. I just thought for being the number 1 corner that he gave up too many plays that he should have made versus Texas, those two in particular.
Still a first-round pick, though.
Yes.
All day long. Okay. Dallas Turner, number 15, edge rusher, not replacing, but now the primary show in town that Will Anderson's made his way to Houston Texans.
Explosive. He took your guy, Sanders, and just threw him out of the bar. He's very explosive out of his hips in the run game. He stood up offensive tackles all night. He didn't have the pass rush stats, but the one thing that really sticks out to him, he has very good first step quickness. He comes off with leverage. He'll jolt the offensive tackle back. Now, I'll give Texas credit in their game plan because they always were sliding the protection to him, or they had some kind of chip help trying to take him out of the game so he wouldn't wreck the game. I think he still needs to develop a counter once he gets the offensive tackle back on his heels. But I thought he played hard, even though the pass rush stats didn't show up. He still had some effect on the quarterback, but they're going to have to figure out a way if teams are going to game plan, because I don't know if they have a Will Anderson opposite of like they've had the last 2 years of Dallas Turner. And Dallas Turner is going to get all the attention now. How do you scheme him to get him a little bit freer or get him in one-on-one situations and pass protection?
Braswell's the other edge rusher, but not quite the level of.
Not quite Will Anderson yet.
Right. At this point in the process, 2 weeks into the season, where does Dallas Turner rank this year compared to Will Anderson last year?
Well, Will Anderson was struggling a little bit last year early in the season as well.
Right.
So I think he's right up there with him right now. And I really like the way he plays the run. And he is bigger. When I saw him in person this summer during a scrimmage down at Alabama, he is bigger than what you anticipate. He is a thickly built kid through his lower, just like Will Anderson was. The last guy I do want to mention is J.C. Latham. I watched him at right tackle. He is a dominant run blocker. He was very good in pass pro. He got mixed up in some games, but overall, he is a mountain of a man, and he creates movement at the point and dislodges people once he puts his hands on them. And if I had to rank him right now, I would put him ahead of Darnell Wright at this point. Seen in Tennessee.
Interesting. So we talked about it during the summer scouting series where the offensive line class, at least at the top, feels deeper than the 5 offensive linemen went in last year's draft class. So right now, Olu Fashanu, Penn State, I think you and I both agree he's still number 1 for us.
Yep.
Joe Alt's number 2 for me out of Notre Dame. Is J.C. Latham higher than Joe Alt for you?
Yeah, I didn't see Joe Alt. I haven't got back to done the tape yet on Alt yet, but he's going to be pushing for the number 2 offensive tackle off the board. But I like him better than I like Darnell Wright last year.
Yeah, and again, credit to Darnell Wright. He moved from left tackle to right tackle. We weren't necessarily talking him up at this point in the process. He did himself some favors by playing really well. But J.C. Latham, we've known about, and to your point, he looks like a house out there, and you got to run around him. Quick aside, speaking of houses, Jack Conklin went down unfortunately for the Browns. He's done for the season with ACL. DeJuan Jones came in and he held his own.
Yeah.
Now the question is, you got to keep him focused. That's it, right?
Yep. Yeah, because he had a really good preseason, but. Debo, for the record, Kool-Aid McAllister was a drop for me this week.
McKinstry.
That's a wild one. He's yelling at me for putting qualified eligible draft prospects, and he's calling him Kevin McAllister.
Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. They just called him Kevin McAllister.
Kool-Aid. I'm sorry. Debo just puts tons of homework on us. You got 150 guys you have to do every week for this.
By the way, I'm making a note. Kevin McAllister is our new nickname for Kool-Aid. By the way, it's disrespectful to give Home Alone a drop. Home Alone is always a pop.
Yeah.
Okay, drop for Kool-Aid. Drop for Rick for not knowing Kool-Aid's name.
Yeah, I get a drop.
All right, Dallas.
Give a pop to Dallas, and I'm going to give a pop to JC.
Perfect. All right, love it. Man, Kevin McAllister, that's an all-timer. We need a list, Debo. By the way, when we do the merchandise, we have to have. Did we talk about this, Debo, having the names on the back that Rick mispronounces? I'll take that as a yes. All right, we're going to keep going here. No break because we got a lot to get to. Oh, he was getting the Kevin McAllister gift ready for us.
I didn't know that was that kid's name.
That makes it even worse.